you think for this one you can move it to the other side of the screen? Meaning in the corner? Thank you. We shall both be more visible that way.
Und wir are live. Yes, I know I said that in German, but I don't care. Or some kind of weird, what could possibly resemble like a,
I think German would be the closest.
what could possibly resemble kind of,
Or maybe Dutch.
Dutch, German, whichever one.
Your mic's being uncoop.
Yeah, as always.
They can never be nice to us both at the same time.
My mics and everything, for whatever reason, they don't like being nice to me. Booyah! For whatever reason, my OBS doesn't like my mic today. It's just, that is all. But we are here via live.
Hey, at least you got the mic to cooperate.
Yeah. We are live. We're here. Random. We woke up this morning. It's our day off. It's our one and only in like three months. 3 months. We normally work like 7 days a week, so we decided to take a day off.
I know, bad ones we are.
Bad ones, I don't know. But we also work for a living, so until YouTube, Kick, or Twitch starts monetizing us, we just gotta do what we gotta do. Body Cam Mayhem. Let's go. Let's get it, Buddy Cam Mayhem. We love watching Buddy Cams together.
Because, I mean, let's just be honest. You're absolutely ripped. Right? You're hammered.
It's pretty clear that you've been drinking. You appear very intoxicated right now. So were you, like, passed out or something? Or?
I know. That's why I wasn't driving.
You've been drinking tonight, sir.
I'm a captain of the police department.
What police department?
Oklahoma City.
Because you think that's a smart thing for you to say.
To state reps, we're breaking down the top 6 times
This
officials
is
got
like,
allegedly
listen,
busted
guys,
for
I may be a
DUI.
conservative
Welcome to
Republican
After
man,
Hours, presented by
but
Law and
understand
Crime.
something. I
I'm
don't
Sam
like
Goldberg.
when people in authority abuse their power. I don't like that at all.
We're in Brimfield Township, Ohio, where 55-year-old county judge Rebecca Doherty finds herself inside the local police station. Earlier that evening, body cam captures the moment officers approach the judge's crashed SUV.
Ma'am, you've got vomit down here in your door.
300 deal.
After being put in the back of the police car, Doherty becomes hysterical.
Absolutely out of my mind.
People of authority getting caught.
The judge is then taken into booking, where she begins making demands.
Let me call Lindbergh.
Have a seat.
No.
Rebecca, listen. This whole thing is being recorded. Do not do something you are going to regret tomorrow. Do me a favor and have a seat so we can do our job. I'm not going to call anybody yet. Okay, we have stuff we have to do. Will you please have a seat? You're trying to walk out the door and you're almost falling down. Can you please have a seat?
I'm not falling down.
Have a seat.
Call Larry Lindbergh.
Rebecca, I will put you in one of the cells if you
Okay.
do. I'm
Call
trying
Larry
to really
Lindbergh
play nice
now.
with you. Have a seat.
Call him now. Call him now. Call him now.
After some contemplation in a cell, the judge now has other requests.
What can I do for you?
Drink.
Okay.
Water.
We just literally told you 10 seconds ago that we're getting you a drink of water. He's out front right now getting you the
Not
glass.
10 seconds ago. I want to drink of water now. Thank you. Now.
I contacted your daughter. She's arranging transportation for you home.
I'll tell my daughter.
Already did.
No, my daughter is not the issue. Call Larry Lindbergh.
I tried him. He didn't answer.
Really?
Do you want the water? The
Yeah,
what?
I do.
Okay.
Larry Lindbergh.
Okay.
Larry Lindbergh. Thank you.
Judge Doherty was later charged with operating a vehicle while under the influence of
You
alcohol
crashed a
and
car
sentenced
and
to
you threw up in your
180
car.
days in
What the
jail,
hell
which
did
was
you
later
expect
reduced to
was gonna
3
happen?
days.
Seriously.
Her driver's license was also suspended a year.
Your phone is in a puddle of vomit in your car, which is
I
on the
get
side of...
it.
Let's see. Hold on. We gotta pull that back for a second.
In jail, which was later reduced to 3 days. Her driver's license was also suspended a year.
Your phone is in a puddle of vomit in your car, which is
I
on the
get
side
it.
of... Can I finish? Which is on the side of the road that you crashed into.
Yes.
The tow company is out there trying to get it out. However, it is extremely snowy and slippery out. They are not able to get the
Totally get it.
vehicle out so far. So
Totally.
your phone is off the table right now. We don't have access to it.
Next, we head to Oklahoma City, where a police captain finds himself on the wrong end of a body camera.
Back in your car. Drunk?
No, Captain.
Huh? A what?
Captain.
A what? The big. Don't reach in your pocket. Get back in your car.
If I was a police officer and the
drinking
first
tonight?
words out of someone's mouth is,
just
I'm a
got a
captain, and they're
been
acting
drinking
erratic
tonight, sir.
like a
Great
police officer,
conversation.
great. We're getting
What
arrested.
police department?
Oklahoma City.
It's Captain James French of the Oklahoma City Police Department, to be exact. French had been with the department for more than 30 years.
How
You
much
chose to
gas-
drive home drunk. Dumb.
Please.
Huh? I'm not turning my camera off.
The responding officer has the drunk police captain step out of his vehicle.
Damn straight, that's what
You
they
gotta be
do.
kidding me.
While the body cam was still rolling, Captain French agrees to a sobriety test.
Bruh. Bruh.
Keep
Sir,
going.
can turn that off,
I cannot, sir.
please?
I know you're aware of our body cam policy. You know I cannot turn off this body
I do, but I'd like to talk to you.
And
I
you
can't
can do it with a body cam on.
Please.
I've been captain for more than 30 years. I know the policy,
Please.
but can you just, you know,
I'd like to talk to you.
No, doesn't matter. You're not
you
my
gonna do
captain.
test
You're
or
not
not?
part of my district.
Will
You're
you
drunk,
please talk to me?
and
I'll talk
you're.
to you once
You
we're
can
done.
turn it off. You can turn
No.
it on.
I can turn it off once I'm done with my investigation, sir.
Okay.
Let's see if he
I'm
turns
asking you.
like aggressive towards the
I'm a
police
captain
officer
on
because
this
he's a
police
captain.
department.
I understand that, sir.
I get
And I am
that.
a sergeant on this police officer, and
I
I've
am
taken
not.
an oath to uphold the law. I don't show
not-
favoritism to anyone, regardless. I don't care if
That's
you're
a
a
good officer.
gangbanger or the president of the United States.
Sir, I'm not asking you for that.
Captain French is then arrested and taken into custody.
Damn straight, as
Go
he
ahead and turn
should,
around for me. Put your hands behind your back.
Are you gonna arrest me, sir?
Yes, I am.
bruh. You knew this was gonna
Can I
happen,
talk to
bro.
you?
Go ahead
No.
and put your hands behind your back, sir.
Yeah, when you put your hands behind your back and I cuff you, you can talk to me on the way to the station when we book you.
you can talk to me on the way to the
Something tells me the AI is gonna, strip you of that, captain's rank, and if not,
French was
have you.
booked on driving under the influence of alcohol and has been placed on administrative leave. Next, we're in Prescott,
Means you're
Arizona,
fired.
where another judge was stopped by police.
Like, do you know I'm a judge here?
You are?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, are you aware of the law?
For Yavapai County?
Since you're a judge,
And I don't want to use that. I don't want to use it. I don't.
Okay.
I really don't. I really don't.
This is Yavapai County Superior
I really don't
Court
want to
Judge
use the fact
Sule
that I'm a judge.
Hancock.
What are
Police
you gonna do?
officers
Tell
caught
the
up
judge,
with her
tell the
after
police
there
that
were reports
no,
that
I
someone
wasn't
was acting
anything?
erratically at a Safeway grocery store.
What's going on today, ma'am? Okay, well, we got some reports that you were inside of Safeway
Yes.
and you're walking around stumbling and you got back in your vehicle
Because I'm trying to.
and you left the store.
Okay, but stumbling
And
as in
now
how
you're
you
here.
you drunk?
Okay, do me a favor, turn off your car so I can hear
I'm
you.
assuming either on pills or alcohol. That's
Perfect. So my next question to you, ma'am, is have you been drinking today? You haven't been drinking today. Okay. Are you having a medical condition today or medical issue?
I'm just trying to get my prescription for something.
Okay. So would there be a
Pills
reason that
it
somebody would
is,
call and say
then.
that maybe you're stumbling around in Safeway? Okay.
I'm just trying to get my prescription.
Okay. So why'd you leave your wallet at the store?
I'm trying to get my prescription.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Hancock told the officer she
And she
was
left
at the
her
pharmacy
wallet
to
at
pick
the
up a
store,
prescription
too.
for a seizure disorder.
While keeping both legs straight, point the toe of your raised foot
Bro,
down.
look at
the
her
raised
stature,
foot.
guys.
Keep your arms
Chat.
to your side.
Look at her. Look at her demeanor right there. Look at that. Look at that demeanor. You tell me that she has to be on something.
Bad ankles?
I have bad feet, bad ankles, and everything.
Okay, how about those shoes? Are they pretty comfortable shoes? I'm just asking.
You think that has an effect?
Right. And out of both of your legs, which leg is the most?
They're both bad.
Okay, which one is not?
They used to
not as
put
bad?
me on seizure medication.
Okay. Okay, so it's your choice.
Anti-seizure when I was younger.
Okay.
When I was a lot younger.
It's
That's a discussion for off cam. But yeah, it was early ADD diagnosis. Mind you all, this is when I was in elementary school. I'm 42 years old now, so this was back in like the late 80s, early 90s. The ADD, autism, ADHD was still relatively new. They had no idea what causes it, so they put me on some kind of like anti-seizure medication
when
early in my
Hancock does a
life, which is-
breathalyzer test
I mean,
and blows a .219.
no one understood it. Even to this day, like the doctors
You might stand on
afterwards
the
in
table
high
for me,
school,
please.
when they saw my charts, they would just be like, "Why would they do that?"
Do me a favor. Go ahead and turn around. Put your hands behind your back, please. All right. Placing you under arrest for driving under suspicion, DUI. I'm gonna have you
Would
go in the back.
anti-seizure
Just
medication
behind
or
us,
anything like
okay?
that
I'm gonna
affect
put the
that?
cuffs on
Like
first.
enhance that,
All right,
or
then we're gonna go back
I
to
mean,
our
obviously, if
station.
she's over the legal
We're gonna do a
limit,
few more
obviously
tests.
she's
Okay.
really
And
fucked.
then
Yeah.
at that point, once we are done with the tests,
Oh,
we'll
yeah.
have your friend who
Mhm.
came here
Yeah.
earlier and pick you up. Okay.
Despite telling multiple
But she's a
officers
judge.
that
She's a
Hancock
judge.
also says
She
wants
should
to
be
be
let
treated
go.
Like a, quote, normal person.
You are being treated like a normal person, not a judge.
Oh,
What's your point?
Okay. Well, I apologize. I've never met you.
It's good that you never have it. No, I'm sorry.
That's a good. Actually, that wasn't even a threat. That was actually a good thing. You shouldn't be meeting judges. If you meet a judge and you don't know the person, like, you know. She knows she messed up, so I can hear remorse in her thing, and she's not being difficult about it too. So
It
yeah,
shouldn't mean anything.
and it's not.
I'm just a person like everybody else.
I'm sorry. You being a judge doesn't mean shit to these guys.
I understand shit matter.
And you're still going to be upheld to the law. And because you're a judge in your courthouse, in your district, in your state, and your city is going to hold you to a higher standard because you're a judge. You should know better than to get that
Hancock was
level of
charged with
intoxicated
what's known in
and go
Arizona
out.
as an
Come on
extreme
now.
DUI. She later took a plea deal and spent 1 day in jail and paid a fine of $1,650. Now we're in Kalamazoo County, Michigan, where
5
this
foot.
time
I'd say like
it's the
5'9",
sheriff
5'10",
who's in some hot water.
maybe 5'11".
So what happened tonight, sir?
I don't know. All I know is I went to the ditch and I have no clue.
That's Mark Lillywhite, the sheriff of St. Joseph County, Michigan. It's February 26th, 2023, around 3
This is why I like to
and
keep a
Lillywhite has just crashed his car while
low-level
driving drunk
lifestyle.
at
Like,
nearly
I don't like to
100
go out
miles
a lot
per
and
hour.
everything because I don't want to be involved in any of this nonsense.
County's car? Okay. So, and then.
If I have one too many, I'm home. I go to
gotcha.
bed.
So you don't know
You
who's
know,
driving
like
the county car that you're riding passenger in?
To be honest with you, I'm bad, but no, I don't.
Okay.
It wasn't me.
Okay. So who was it?
I have no idea.
Body camera shows Lillywhite in the passenger seat of his car. Despite there being no one else at the scene, Lillywhite insists he wasn't the one driving.
What happened before you went into the ditch?
No, I wasn't driving.
Okay, I didn't ask that. I asked what happened before you went into the ditch.
you already you jumped the gun, my friend. You messed
I'm
up.
told too. I'm out here with you. Who was driving?
I have no idea.
It's pretty clear that you've been drinking. You appear very intoxicated right now. So were you like passed out or something? Or?
I know, that's why I wasn't driving. I get the fact that I wasn't driving.
I gotcha. But were you? So you were sleeping, or you just weren't paying attention, or what?
No, I wasn't driving. I have no idea.
After Lillywhite refuses to do any field sobriety tests or take a breathalyzer, The trooper takes the sheriff into custody.
Well, no, yeah,
Draw at
but
the hospital showed his
they're
blood
forever
alcohol
shamed.
level was 0.25,
Like that's a
more
huge
than
thing. They are
3 times
literally
the legal limit to drive.
forever
Lily
shamed
White,
because
who
of
had
that.
been in law enforcement for 3 decades,
He won't be
pleaded
able
guilty to 2 misdemeanors,
to ever become
operating while
an
intoxicated
officer
and
ever
carrying
again.
a weapon while under the influence of alcohol. At
And
the
you were
time of this recording.
Listen,
Lily White is
guys,
still
I'm
the
very
sheriff of
heavy
St.
pro
Joseph
Second
County.
Amendment.
Next,
Heavy
we're
pro
staying
Second
in
Amendment.
Michigan,
Okay,
where it's not just law
I own
enforcement
weapons,
officers
but
driving drunk. It's
when you're going out
firefighters,
purposely
too.
drinking,
Dearborn
do
Fire
not
Chief
have your
Joseph
weapons
Murray
on you.
has spoken out before
Don't have
against drunk
firearms,
driving,
guns,
but on
and
August 29th, 2023,
knives, anything.
he
Don't.
was
That's
the
just
one arrested
stupid.
on suspicion
Even
of
if
DUI.
you have a license to carry, they will revoke your license if you get pulled over for any kind of intoxication or anything like that. Your carrying license is immediately
It
revoked.
was only 40.
So please be smart, guys. Go out, have fun. Don't drive drunk. Don't drive intoxicated, and don't have your weapons on you if you're going out for entertainment purposes. Seriously, guys, come on, be smart.
Before they start testing to see if he's intoxicated, the officer wants to know if the fire chief has had anything to drink.
Oh, and it's a fire chief too, man. Come on, dude. You pull out burning bodies from cars and everything when you're out here doing this.
3 or 4.
Come on.
Okay, how long ago did you have those?
What's that?
How long ago did you have those beers?
She is the cold girl.
A couple hours.
All right, what time do you think it is right now, sir, without looking at the clock? You already looked at the clock.
Sorry.
You're good. All right, have you had anything to drink or eat in the last 15 minutes?
The last 15 minutes?
We're just having our breakfast
Okay, so
smoothies
go
right
ahead and
now,
shut the
guys.
vehicle off for me.
Yes, sir.
Go to step out of the vehicle.
Things don't get much better when Murray gets out of the car.
Because I mean, let's just be honest. You're absolutely ripped, right? You're hammered, drunk. You can barely speak. You can barely stand up. Fine. Oh, come on over here.
The field sobriety tests don't go well, with Murray losing his balance and having trouble following what the officer is saying. When it comes time to do a breathalyzer, Murray requests a lawyer.
I mean, no.
My guy, you done messed up.
For a lawyer or something.
You don't want to take that?
I don't understand, like, what's
We just want to see where you're at, because I think you're intoxicated. I think you've had too much to drink today. This will just kind of give us a rough estimate of exactly where kind of that number's at, okay?
I feel like I just need to wait for a lawyer.
You want to wait for a lawyer? Fantastic. You're going to be placed under arrest. Put your hands behind your back, okay? Under arrest for drunk driving.
Murray was later arrested and released.
I love that
The
they
department
use
placed him
their
on
like
administrative
actual
leave, and
like
as of this recording, Murray
portraits
has not been
in
officially
uniform
charged.
for that, as they
We head
should,
to
as they
Nassau
should,
County,
100%.
Florida, where County Commissioner Aaron Bell was arrested in June 2022. For
Listen, guys, we
DUI.
live in Florida, but damn.
License, registration, proof of insurance. I'm sorry? I don't have a license. You don't have your license? No. Do you have a valid license? Yes. You just don't have it with you? No. Okay. All right.
According to Bell's arrest report, police got a call about a reckless driver. The officer stopped Bell, who
Everyone
allegedly had
has
a
a
strong
Florida
smell
Man
of
video.
alcohol on his breath and appeared disoriented.
So how much have you had to drink today as far as alcohol goes? Okay. I don't believe you, neither does he.
Freaking Florida, man.
Okay. But can you get me home? No. No. Please? No.
My guy,
No.
you're getting put in cuffs
Why are
and
you different
you know.
than anybody else that I stop and do a DUI investigation with? Because who your wife is, don't work that way, bud. Don't work that way.
That definitely looks a little grown,
You're
huh?
not privileged because of what your wife does for a living.
Is that CVS?
According to the arrest report, Bell failed various roadside sobriety tests.
My God.
After refusing a breathalyzer test, police say Bell then requested to go to the hospital, even though he couldn't tell paramedics
Let me see the
what
cop
exactly
cars.
was wrong.
Let me see the cop
Bell was
cars.
brought to the hospital by his own request, medically cleared, and then taken to the Nassau County Jail.
Nassau.
He was
There
later
we go.
charged with driving under the influence. Our last stop is in Seymour, Indiana.
Hi. Recognize you. What's your name? Jim Lucas.
Officials say on May 31st, Lucas crashed his car about an hour south of Indianapolis. He allegedly hit 2 guardrails, then made a U-turn, which meant he was going the wrong way down an exit ramp. When police finally caught up with Lucas, the state rep claims he was just out walking.
Is out for a walk? Okay. You didn't see a van go by with no tires on it?
No van.
No van. Okay. All right. I mean, you've
Nassau
been
County,
drinking,
Florida.
so that's why
I'm
I'm asking
just
you,
above
because we got
Jacksonville.
somebody that's
So it's
probably
north.
around
That's
the tires
very
on
north.
it,
I
and
thought so.
then
I was like, it's got to be
stumbling around
mid
there, driving
West Florida north.
Okay.
Yeah.
110, come over here. Hang tight, Jim, all right?
Eventually, Lucas is arrested.
All right, Jim, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in court of law. You have the right to consult with a lawyer before answering questions and to have a lawyer with you during any questioning. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be provided for you free of cost if you so desire one. Do you understand what I read you? Okay. Do you still want to talk to us? I'm sorry?
I do not.
You do not? Okay.
In a move we've seen before, Lucas asks the officer to turn off his body camera.
Is your camera on?
Yes. It's always on, yep.
You turn it off because I'm going to say something. Okay, you fucked up by not checking me. I volunteered my way.
Yeah. Well, I didn't have to check you yet, and plus I was standing with you.
Okay,
now,
but you, I'm not arguing.
I know.
And?
Excellent. I had a weapon.
Right.
If I were a bad guy,
right.
I had the advantage.
Yes and no.
I'm trained.
I didn't say you weren't.
Good for you.
No, and I'm not arguing that.
Right.
But you don't know that I'm not.
I know that. I don't.
And see, here's the thing. Okay, I am the biggest supporter of 2A rights.
Same.
Everybody has a right.
Same.
Okay, but in situations like this, you also have a right to be suspicious.
Once the officers get Lucas into a vehicle, they
love
mention
these
the smell of alcohol
these
on his
no-nonsense
breath.
cops.
Smell anything on him?
Oh, yeah.
I can smell it. Kinda. That's why I want to get in my car.
Yeah.
So they're just going to be right down there?
Mm-hmm. Okay. My corporal's right there, so he'll let you know, too. Yep, you're good.
Lucas pleaded guilty to 2 misdemeanor charges and received a 60-day suspended sentence for the charge of operating a vehicle while intoxicated.
The moment
and
if
a
I was
180-day
AI
suspended
and they would
sentence for leaving the
say the
scene where
words,
he hit the guardrail.
hey, turn your
He
body
later
cam
took a
off,
plea deal
immediately,
and had to pay
whatever it is,
$4,000 for
that
the
if
damage
I
to
had
the
any
guardrail,
doubts, out the
spent
door.
a year on probation and complete a drug and alcohol program.
They would definitely be
Crime After
unceremoniously
Hours,
fired.
I'm Sam Goldberg.
And I stay here.
We got another one coming right now, guys. Hold up. Give us a second. There we go. Audit the audit. All right, let's go.
Welcome to Audit the Audit, where we sort out the who and what and the right and wrong of police interactions. This episode covers assault, disorderly conduct, and handcuffing, and is brought to us by Real World Police's channel. Be sure to check out the description below and give them the credit that they deserve.
Please support
On
the original
November 14th,
release.
2020, Officer Drew Scott Romo of the Roseville Police Department in Roseville, California, was visiting Scottsdale, Arizona for a bachelor party. Throughout the evening, officers with the Scottsdale Police Department had been called to intervene at 2 different bars after Officer Romo had been removed or denied entry for being overly intoxicated and becoming aggressive and confrontational with security. Finally, Scottsdale officers were called to a 3rd bar, from which Officer Romo had once again been removed for over-intoxication. The interaction that followed was captured on officer body camera.
I love equestrian cops. There's probably other officers in close by.
With us, just go. That's it.
Dude, I'm on your side.
They don't want you at the business, so you need to go.
I'm on your side.
I get that, but they don't want you here tonight, man.
You guys are brutal. Hey, I'm on your side. We understand what you do, but you need to.
If you know law enforcement, that means the moment they said they don't want you there anymore, you leave.
What did he do? What did he do?
He's trying to fire everybody that walks by. Right. We kicked him after you guys told us kicks out. We kicked him out.
He ain't even following no social business.
We literally kicked him out, and then he's literally after you guys. They just stood up.
I guess this has to be still during COVID times because 2020.
What the? What am I seeing on what? What am I taking you out? What am I? I'm just trying to keep you out of jail. No. To be a California cop and be a and you want to chest bump us?
You can go ahead and do that. And guess where you're going to end up? In my jail.
Yeah, I want to know where.
You can either calm down and go home.
No, what am I doing wrong?
You're too intoxicated. You're trying to pick fights with people. Every club has asked you to leave multiple times. Every club you've gone to.
On what? What am I doing?
I've removed you twice from 2 different clubs. Do you not understand that?
What am I 602?
I don't know what that is. That's a California code. I don't know what that is.
602 resident?
I don't know what that is.
What am I trespassing on?
This place kicked you out.
On what regimen?
You're not even hearing me. I'm trying to keep you from going to jail.
I'm understanding. What am I on?
You're not understanding anything, my man.
I'm trying to.
But you're not.
What are they?
What is the hard part about just going home so you don't get into trouble?
No, I'm trying to understand. What are they kicking me out for?
You're too intoxicated. In the state of Arizona. Listen to me for 1 second. Get it through your head right here, okay? You've had too much to drink and you're not processing anything anymore. Arizona law requires that if a bar realizes you're too intoxicated, they must remove you within 30 minutes.
On their own.
You've been removed. There's no drunken public law. You don't have that here in the state of Arizona. They're kicking you out because you're inside their establishment too intoxicated. That's a state law. They're removing you. They're obligated by law to remove you from the
I'm asking you. I'm in Arizona.
Yes, you are.
Not East Arizona.
That's what I explained to you multiple times.
When he was at the line, he kept on hitting the bouncer's hand when he was trying to get through the bouncer.
Well, he could be. He's clearly a California cop, and this is Arizona. So he's quoting them like California statutes and stuff like that and everything. Yeah, he's there hanging out, but it doesn't change anything. Whether you're law enforcement in from another state, cooperate with the state that you are currently in's law enforcement.
Personal space, bro. You just got pushing. I was like, all right, hold on. You want to be a victim? Sure. Cool. Change money back. You're too intoxicated to understand what I'm even telling you.
I'm going to go home. I'm going to go home.
Oh, now you're going to go home? You just said you didn't want to go home. Now you want to go home? Serious? Now you want to go home. Let's sit him down.
Dude, I have a law enforcement ID.
You, sir,
and
disrespect to our profession this evening.
Thank you to that law
I'm going to
enforcement.
hold you in custody and make you tell the judge in the morning that you have a law enforcement ID. You're a disgrace right now. So you need to shut your mouth before I call your supervisor, and we go from there, and you don't lose your job in California while you're visiting Arizona.
I don't understand.
So you close your mouth and let us do our job now, because you can't make adult decisions.
Job?
My job is to take you to jail now, because you can't be an adult. Have a seat. Have a seat.
Okay.
Have a seat. Sit down.
Hold on.
Sit down.
Sit down?
Yes. Kick your feet out. Kick your feet out.
I have a law enforcement ID.
And you're still saying that they're gonna call your sergeant. They're gonna call your captain.
About 15 times, him swatting the hand of the security guards away in line trying to grab us. We already asked him to go home tonight. So if you got a victim and you got someone that articulates it, he's already been kicked out of Whiskey Road.
Come on, bro.
Service.
That's adorable that they're.
I have a
Don't say it. Don't say it. I have an ID. That the ID doesn't do anything to you. It's not a get out of jail free card.
No, man. The issue is.
The Scottsdale officers state that Officer Romo can be charged with assault for swatting the security guard's hand away.
You do
between
this
10 to
and you
15
strike
times.
someone, it's
Under
assault.
Arizona law, even relatively minor unwanted physical contact can constitute assault.
And
if
during
done with the
2020, it was
requisite
just a
intent.
shit
According
show
to
all over the
subsection
place.
A3 of section 13-1203 of the Arizona Revised Statutes, misdemeanor assault includes, now quoting, knowingly touching another person with the intent to injure, insult, or provoke such person. This means that a person commits assault not only by causing actual injury, but also by any intentional physical touch meant to offend or provoke the other party. Therefore, as the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, which has jurisdiction over Arizona, explained in the 2006 case of Fernandez-Ruiz versus Gonzalez, quote, as the plain text of the provision makes clear, conviction under subsection A3 does not require a physical injury of any kind. In the same vein, the U.S. District Court for the District of Arizona found in the 2012 case of Drotz versus Park Electro Chemical Corp. that an individual could violate this statute by forcing his way into an office by pushing someone's hand off a door, reasoning that, quote, any degree of touching could violate
When I have a law
Arizona's simple
enforcement
assault
ID.
statute. Accordingly, this so-called offensive touching
This
form
ain't
of
Cali,
assault
baby
covers
doll.
a
This is
broad range of
Arizona.
conduct, even relatively trivial contact, so long as it is unwelcome and done in a rude or provoking manner. Additionally, the fact that Officer Romo hit the security guard's hand 10 to 15 times serves as evidence that he did so, quote-unquote, knowingly rather than accidentally, which is also a requirement for the statute. As such, it is likely that a court would conclude that the officers at least had probable cause to believe that Officer Romo had committed, quote-unquote, offensive touching assault by repeatedly slapping
I could
the
be wrong,
security
guys.
guard's
Like,
hand.
my
Although
geography
it
is,
is fairly clear that the officers
it's
had
been a few
probable
years since
cause
I've
in
studied,
this
man.
situation. Probable cause must be analyzed on a case-by-case
Yeah.
basis, and the line is often
Okay,
much,
I
as
thought
we
I
would
thought
say,
I thought that
fuzzier.
though it was in
If
California.
you want to learn more about the probable cause standard and other similar issues, you may want to consider picking up a copy of the Civilian Rights Hand Guide, our comprehensive guide to police encounters. In the first half of the book, we cover the basic constitutional and legal framework surrounding officer-citizen interactions. The second half of the book is devoted to practical guidance for managing different types of police interactions, so you can learn how to effectively assert your rights under any circumstances. The Civilian Rights Hand Guide is available exclusively on Amazon, and you can find a link in the description and pinned comment down below. Thank you so much for your support. And now, let's continue with this interaction.
We are not sponsored by anyone, but that does seem like a really good handbook for every civilian out there to get their hands
I
on.
should know it off the top of my head. It's been a minute. We was just standing here waiting for our table, and he was just like, just looking at me, and I was like, "Is there like a problem?" Yeah. And he was like, "What is that? There's gonna be a problem." And I was like, "Be a problem." And then that's when he turned around and started talking to him and pushing him. Do you mind if I just get your guys' name real quick? You don't have to do it. It just is gonna help. He's claiming to be a police officer in California, so obviously it's gonna be a bigger deal. I'd rather not. You don't want to? Yeah, I'm good. I would rather not if I don't have to. I mean, yeah, I'm good.
Dude, upstanding citizens don't like it. Listen, I understand you guys want to say unanimous, but like it does help law enforcement that they have your name, guys. They're not gonna run your stuff. They're not gonna put on your record or anything. It's just for information, guys. California may end up calling you guys and being like, hey, was this true? Witnesses and all that and everything. But that's, you know, if you guys want these kind of people, like when they do wrong, to actually get prosecuted, you have to cooperate with law enforcement.
And everyone in the group says that he came over to every single one of them. And said,
Sometimes you actually have to go along with the system in order for the system to work. I understand the system's very broken, but sometimes a little bit of cooperation does go a long way in the system.
Nah, we're gonna try to. Let's grab his wallet from him. My wallet's in my back right pocket. The issue is I have a ID in my wallet.
He just doesn't shut up about that.
Do you know that you already talked to us tonight? Do you know that? Yeah. You remember that? I understand. How long ago was that? Minutes ago we talked to you. Yeah. How about a couple hours ago when you refused service into another bar and we told you to go home? Just go home. It's time to go home. You can't get into any more bars. Your buddies asked you to leave, and you would not leave, and you walked off on your own, and they left you. But it's a bar. That's what you're not getting.
They're not getting, dudes. Guys, each state has their own set of laws for everything. It's different for each state. For those of you who don't live in the United States, each state is pretty much almost like a quasi-independent country, okay? We're all under the umbrella of the United States of America and the federal government, but each state has its own statutes and laws of difference when it comes to these kind of interactions. You have to know what you're doing and cooperate with law enforcement in the local area because each state has different laws.
That you're not catching. If you're a true cop and you cared about the blue, you would not put me in this position right now.
Yup.
You got home when I asked you to. Okay? That's the position you put me in. Yeah, I do think you should have gone home.
Yeah.
Even your friends.
Mm-hmm.
Where is your bachelor party? It's in Phoenix. You're by yourself, bro. They left you. You understand that? They left you. Come on, dude. All right, my man. Yeah, I'm just.
This is like a fun little.
Earplugs, everything.
Lord, do you need anything?
And the other cop actually said it earlier in the video where they were like, you're so drunk you can't comprehend anything that we're saying to you anymore, so please go home. And he refused.
I'm not kidding you, sir. I have 5 people that provided me the exact same statement about you trying to physically assault them and then watch you physically assault the bouncer by swatting his hand away. They noted at least 10 times. The security guard noted at least 15 times.
The Scottsdale officers now state that, in addition to assault, Officer Romo can be charged with disorderly conduct for his behavior, which included taking a fighting stance, puffing out his chest, and saying, and I quote, "You want to have a problem," to a group of patrons waiting in line. Now, while Arizona does not criminalize mere public intoxication on its own, under Section 13-2904 of the Arizona Revised Statutes, quote, "A person commits disorderly conduct if, with intent to disturb the peace or quiet of a neighborhood, family, or person, or with knowledge of doing so, such person engages in fighting, violent or seriously disruptive behavior, or uses abusive or offensive language or gestures to any person present in a manner likely to provoke immediate physical retaliation by such person." It is important to note that there are other ways that an individual can commit disorderly conduct in Arizona, but these 2 subsections, subsection 1 and subsection 3, are most relevant here. Public fighting or combative tumultuous behavior generally falls under subsection 1 as quote-unquote fighting, violent, or seriously disruptive behavior, whereas confrontational or aggressive speech falls under subsection 3 if it rises to the level of so-called fighting words, meaning it is likely to provoke someone to retaliate immediately. As the Court of Appeals of Arizona outlined in the 1999 case of Inri Luis C., quote, "The right to free speech is protected by the First and 14th Amendments to the United States Constitution. The right to free speech is not absolute, however, and fighting words, those by which their very utterance inflict injury or tend to incite an immediate breach of the peace, are not afforded constitutional protection." The court went on to explain that, now quoting again, "Fighting words are those inherently likely to provoke violent reaction when addressed to the ordinary citizen. Accordingly, Arizona's disorderly conduct statute has been carefully drawn to include, as a violation, only those epithets amounting to fighting words. In other words, offensive language is not disorderly conduct unless it amounts to fighting
complicated.
words. While it is
shit.
entirely possible that a court would conclude that Officer Romo's speech alone in asking the patrons whether they wanted to quote-unquote have a problem constituted fighting words and therefore disorderly conduct, Officer Romo's actions must also be considered in the analysis. Puffing out his chest and assuming a fighting stance while verbally challenging bar patrons would almost certainly be considered so-called fighting, violent, or seriously disruptive behavior, and not protected speech. As the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals stated in the 2021 case of United States versus Rundo, quote, "Acts of violence are not protected under the First Amendment, nor are true threats, which involve subjective intent to threaten. Therefore, it is likely that a court would determine that Officer Romo could be charged with and convicted of disorderly conduct for his actions."
15 times? Drew. Bro, do you have your sergeant's information?
Bravo 33, copy 2729.
Are you a sergeant? I'm not a sergeant. So you don't have... I don't have a sergeant. Forgive me, who do you immediately report to?
I forgive you, but he is not on shift. He is medically...
You're still gonna...
Hypothetically, when you go back to work next week, who do you report to as your immediate supervisor?
No.
So you would like for me to blind call your agency tomorrow and tell them that I arrested you and then ask to speak to the police chief? Who would you like me to notify? Because if you don't want to give me any information, it's going to be a blind call to whoever I can get a hold of.
I don't have to be honest with you.
Drew, what's your phone number?
My cell phone?
Yes.
My personal phone?
Drew, man, we tried, buddy. We gave it our my man.
I don't know how you tried.
Okay. Well, hopefully tomorrow when you're sober and you watch our body camera footage, you'll understand how we went above and beyond to try.
I don't understand.
Hey, what you guys So, hey, LT's gonna probably need to try to get a number from there, so let's just keep it open. And then you'll have your phone on you, so when you go down to the jail, you'll be able to call whoever you need.
Can I contact right now who I need to?
Unfortunately, not at this moment.
It's a sergeant within your jurisdiction.
What I'm gonna reference you to is my sergeant's on scene, and now my lieutenant's on scene. I imagine my lieutenant's gonna want to talk with you and get that contact information for your sergeant. Just gonna set up my bike bag for now. Let me check these cars.
Can I chill out? Or no?
I wish you would have chilled out, bro.
Come on, bro. I'm gonna chill out for you. Can I chill out or no?
Yeah, please do chill out.
Yeah, a little late. Now you have a sergeant and a lieutenant on scene. Bro, you messed up. Big time.
Hang out in custody without being in cuffs?
No, you have to be in handcuffs, man.
Officer Romo asks the Scottsdale officer to remove his handcuffs, and the Scottsdale officer replies that he has to keep them on. Now, while there's no law that requires officers to keep arrestees in handcuffs, once an individual is placed under arrest, Arizona law gives officers the authority to use reasonable restraints to effect the arrest and ensure custody. Section 13-3881 of the Arizona Revised Statutes states that, quote,
those were
"Arrest
toy
is made
handcuffs,
by an actual
for
restraint
sure.
of the person to be arrested, or by his submission to the custody of the person making the arrest. No unnecessary or unreasonable force shall be used in making an arrest, and the person arrested shall not be subjected to any greater restraint than necessary for his detention." This statute grants officers considerable discretion in the method of restraint to be used, as long as it is necessary and reasonable, and handcuffing is generally considered to be a reasonable restraint for most arrests. Further, according to Scottsdale PD Field Order 1305, officers are required to, now quoting, "properly handcuff prisoners with their hands behind their backs and the handcuffs double locked at the time of arrest."
Either
The
AI
policy
or
explains
really
that
bad
this is
acting.
to ensure arrested subjects are restrained in the safest, least restrictive manner, and to foster the safety of the officer, arrested subject, and others. Now, while the policy does allow for exceptions to be made due to injuries, age, and other factors, it also directs officers to, now quoting again, "secure the prisoner as much as reasonable given the circumstances." Likewise, Field Order 2405 requires officers to, prior to transporting prisoners, quote, "ensure the prisoner is properly handcuffed behind the back." This policy also permits exceptions for injuries, age, and other factors, but once again instructs officers to secure prisoners, quote unquote, "as much as reasonable." Here, there were no factors requiring the removal of Officer Romo's handcuffs, as it seemed that he just did not want to be in them, and the Scottsdale officer was complying with policy by keeping him handcuffed.
Okay, I just loosened this one, and I'm gonna.
I can't feel.
I can get my whole.
They're always like, I can't feel it either. Okay, that's because you keep pressing your hands up against the handcuffs. Calm down.
Alright, man. Sit tight. 10-13.
No, I don't. Does that have to be any help?
I do not, sir. I appreciate the offer. I'm not a huge proponent of this, but unfortunately, we have no other choice. What's up, ma'am?
Can you open my contacts?
Yeah, who would you like me to get from you for you now?
You know this is bull.
I don't even know what's going on right now.
I'm a cop, you know that?
Where are you a cop at?
You know that? You don't care. You don't care, do you? I'm a good dude. I'm a cop. That's the weird thing. You know the weird thing about that?
Yeah, you're a good dude and a cop, and you absolutely, run amok this entire night to the point that police officers everywhere are being contacted to not let you in bars. So you're not a good guy. You're just severely intoxicated. You may be a good guy, but yet you're not cooperating. Ladies and gentlemen, please cooperate with law enforcement. Unless it's like completely egregious that the cops are doing something to you guys. Come on. And those situations are very far and few between.
We can also charge you with assault based on you batting the security guard. And I'll tell you what assault will do. Assault will get you terminated. So better course of action is to treat the guy who's being nice to you with a little bit of respect.
He's not being nice to me, sir. He's not treating me with respect. I didn't bat the security guard.
Okay, we have independent.
I'm friends with the sergeant. I didn't.
With who, sergeant? Their sergeant? Because their sergeant's already there.
That's why you have your day in court. My advice to you is just sit down, be quiet.
Totally. That's what
Cooperate with the judge.
I'm trying to understand the charge. And I'm also
Assault.
They didn't
Disorderly conduct. Do you not know these things?
And after they release me, do I need to do anything? Do I need to follow up at all?
They'll explain to you.
Sir, you're telling me that I need to worry about it, but then I don't need to worry about it?
We're going to get you in the jail. We're going to get you,
Hey man, put one leg in. Okay. One, two, three.
Where's your car at, bro?
Just right here. No, I'm good with that.
Where you at?
Just on the side right here.
Everybody coming in? So you're taking me in? What are you booking me for? 647F?
Yes.
Is that going on record?
Is what going on what record?
647F.
Sure. Spread your feet.
I can't walk?
No, you're done walking. You need to spread your feet. You have any needles?
I don't have nothing, bro.
People are blowing up your phone, man.
Yeah, I understand that. Okay. I feel that. Why am I being booked?
Alright, we have to give everyone the same warning that goes.
And honestly, once the cop told me, hey, your phone's blown up, I'd be like, yeah, can you just answer it real quick? I'd be like, hey, yo, I'm being arrested, I messed up, and then, you know, move on to their day. And then let them talk to the police officers. And especially because if you're here on a bachelor party, I guarantee you some of the people you're with are also cops. So, you know what I mean? Yeah. And it's guys like him that make law enforcement look utterly ridiculous and awful.
It's a short ride, okay?
Yeah, whatever.
Oh my god, seriously? Dude. Cooperate.
Alright, come on, man.
Where am I going?
You get the job.
Alright guys, we're gonna wrap up the stream after this one particular dude finally gets booked in and everything. We've been streaming now for like 45 minutes, almost an hour. No, I know we gotta wrap it up. And I'll be back on stream later on today, guys. And of course, join us 4 p.m. Anime Date Night, episodes 7 and 8 today of The Apothecary Diaries.
Jail facility, and the correct term probably would be prisoner. However, we're trying to get you released, but you're not showing any signs of sobering up.
I figured something out.
You go out and act
As far
accordingly
as that
to
goes, so
society.
it's not a big deal.
From what I understand, you're dialing 911. You're continuously
breathe, sir.
You're continuously banging on the jail cell doors.
Because I can't breathe. I have anxiety.
And
completely understand the anxiety part.
I am sobering up. What do you want me to do?
Well,
shut the fuck up and cooperate.
I am ordered to inform you of this.
This is also California cops who are like,
You are ordered to call Lieutenant Scott Blinn, and I will provide you his phone number. Okay, and you are ordered to call him immediately upon your release to report your actions. Do you have any questions about that directive?
But I can't breathe in here.
Okay, I'm not sure what other thing that I can offer for you.
I feel like animal here. And this ain't right.
maybe he has like claustrophobia, maybe. Like the anxiety, maybe does something. I don't know. I think he's just being a, you know, she's being a ussy right now. Yeah.
You can't now.
Unfortunately, no, I can't. This goes back to our conversation from 3 hours ago when we tried our best to give you the professional courtesy that it deserved.
I gave it to you.
No. We tried to give you the professional courtesy.
I gave it to you.
Okay.
I was in handcuffs when I gave it to you.
Okay. I'm done
Yeah, for real.
I just had to advise you of what you are ordered to do.
I understand, sir, but I can't breathe in here.
I can open your trap, but if you're going to keep banging, I'm not going to do it. It's just allowed to do it.
I literally cannot.
Is that a fair compromise? They'll open your trap to allow airflow inside.
You know he's going to come pick you up tonight? We have to release you to a sober ride. So if you were out drinking with friends, I assume...
Boss, you said he called 911? Alright, my man. You gotta help us out too, being a police officer.
What do I need to do?
Not call 911.
Shut the fuck up.
Because I can't breathe. I can't breathe in here.
Do you remember prior to the George Floyd incident that we got in the habit of saying, if you can talk, you can breathe? Do you remember that? So the fact that you're able to raise your voice, the fact that you're able to bang on a door, the fact that you're able to dial
I've been saying this
911
over and
leads me to
over and over and
believe,
over
for a
again, every
reasonable
single
person
body
to
cam
believe that
video.
you are able to
For anyone that is
get
screaming at the top of their lungs, I can't breathe! I can't breathe! You can breathe just fine. If you can speak, you can breathe.
Is that we're going to open up your tray door here, and if you'd like, you can get some fresh air that comes through there. Until you decide to stop banging on the jail door and calling 911, you're going to sit in here. The sooner that you can just take a little nap and wake up and kind of be in a better mood, the sooner that you're going to get out of here. I have to report back to your lieutenant this evening, and now I got to report back this behavior furthermore. What's the behavior? So you've been
acting like a child.
Jail facility this evening.
At around 3:30 a.m., once Officer Romo stopped banging on his cell door, the Scottsdale officers called a taxi and released him with a citation. Officer Romo was charged with assault and disorderly conduct, and on March 23, 2021, he pleaded guilty to the disorderly conduct charge, while the assault charge was dismissed at the request of the city attorney. According to Real World Police, Lieutenant Chris Champa of the Roseville Police Department reported that Officer Romo's last day with the Roseville PD was November 18th, 2020, 4 days after he was arrested.
As he should.
Overall, the Scottsdale officers get an A+ for maintaining respectful and professional demeanors throughout the interaction, refusing to give Officer Romo special treatment based on his status as a police officer, and demonstrating a solid understanding of the Arizona law involved. The Scottsdale officers handled this situation how I would like to see them handle any situation involving an overly intoxicated individual. They gave Officer Romo multiple opportunities to simply go home and sleep it off without immediately resorting to an unnecessary arrest, and then stepped in to arrest him and remove him from the streets once he became a genuine threat to public order and safety. They should also be commended for the tremendous amount of patience they demonstrated in dealing with Officer Romo's intoxicated behavior, and the genuine consideration they showed him while he was in their custody. Officer Romo gets an F for becoming unsafely intoxicated in public and refusing to go home, threatening multiple bar patrons with violence, and expecting to avoid the consequences of his actions due to his status as a police officer. Although much of Officer Romo's behavior is attributable to his intoxicated state, I believe it is a safe assumption that his inebriation was the result of his own conscious choices. And I would not be surprised to learn that Officer Romo's entitled mindset was not entirely the product of his alcohol consumption. Officer Romo repeatedly brought up the fact that he had a law enforcement ID, as if it were some sort of defense to his actions, when in reality it just made his conduct all the more unfortunate. It is essential that officers understand that they are not above the law just because they have a badge, and this encounter demonstrates the importance of fair and impartial treatment of law enforcement officers who engage in illegal behaviors. Let us know if there is an interaction or legal topic that you would like us to discuss in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to pick up your copy of the Civilian Rights Hand Guide in the links below.
Instead of making yourself look dumb on camera, thinking that you're some sovereign citizen nonsense.
Exactly. Like, guys, know your citizen rights, know your civilian rights and everything. Please, always do. And I cannot stress this enough. Cooperate with law enforcement. Thank you guys very much for this sporadic live we decided to do and everything. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, leave your thoughts in the comments. And like, follow, and share all across every single platform as much as possible. Thank you guys very much. I definitely will be back on at some point in time playing some Destiny, Marvel Rivals, or some, or whatever it is I feel like playing at some point. And of course, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Anime Date Night. Episodes 7 and 8 of the Apothecary Diaries tonight!
Give me more Mau.
Tonight, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Anime Date Night. Join us, guys, alright? We will see you all then, and if not, you know, I'll post the streams on YouTube. Have a wonderful time.